Concerns about the economy are taking center stage again as experts warn that the United States and the rest of the world might slip back into a recession.
And as Ephraim Graham reports, the lack of jobs is still the top priority for millions of Americans.
408,000 people applied for unemployment benefits last week. That's up 9,000 from the week before. And just one more sign of weakness in the economy.
You got child, you got kids, you got bills, you got to stay somewhere.
He's one of the 4,000 job hunters who waited hours in the Atlanta heat Thursday, hoping to score one of only 2,000 job openings at this job fair.
No callbacks.
Not one.
Home sales also fell in July for the third time in 4 months, even as mortgage rates hit their lowest levels since the 1950s. U.S. manufacturing is also said to be contracting, adding fuel to the growing talk of a double-dip recession. But a recent Rasmussen poll found many Americans feel like the recession never ended.
The psyche of American investors has been damaged, no question about it.
And Europe is still facing its debt crisis, along with slower economic growth in Asia.
We don't think we're out of the woods or even close to being out of the woods, and quite honestly, we think that the problems are going to continue to unfold over the next 18 to 24 months.
One bright spot in the bleak economic outlook is oil. Prices continue to drop, which leads to lower gas prices, something everyone can benefit from. But for now, the weak economy and the possibility of another recession is dominating the news and is certain to be high on the agenda when President and Congress come back to Washington in a few weeks. Ephraim Graham, CBN News.
It's quite a closing line when they come back to work in a few weeks. Boy, it would be great if they were at work right now trying to fix the many problems that we have. And one of the big ones is how can we get our federal budget in line? There's a doomsday option within what they passed that would call for drastic cuts in the military if they can't come to some kind of solution. And given the wide gulf between the two parties on the very important issues facing us, I think it'd be much better if they were hard at work. Lee Webb has the rest of our top stories from the CBN Newsroom. Lee?
Gordon, Christine O'Donnell didn't win her race for the U.S. Senate in Delaware last year. She was the Republican, though, candidate most covered by the media, and she returns to the spotlight with a release of a book about her experiences. She told our Jennifer Wishon that watching a story on the 700 Club was a turning point for her.
Christine, I want to start with the commercial viewed around the world.
I'm not a witch. I'm nothing you've heard.
Tell me what you thought when you saw the final product of that commercial.
When I saw the first line, before the script was even written, I said, I can't do that. I can't even read that. This is the wrong direction. But what did I do? I ignored my gut and I listened to the experts. There is a lesson there. And as we go forward into the 2012 elections, I'm hoping that the everyday Americans who are finding themselves involved in the political process for the first time will learn from my mistakes.
O'Donnell calls the witchcraft debacle the lowest moment of her campaign. It grew from a decade-old interview, became baggage that led to that ad, and helped drown her dreams of serving in the Senate.
The name of the book is Troublemaker. Are you a troublemaker? And if you are, is that something that is that a label that you wear proudly?
I sure hope I'm a troublemaker. I chose to title my book that because I want to inspire more troublemakers to go out there and upset the status quo, but to do it in the right spirit.
After the election, O'Donnell says she grew angry and bitter, but her attitude changed one day while watching a story on the 700 Club. It was about an African-American pastor reaching out to a former KKK leader.
And it just struck me, wow, if this pastor could find the love of God and the grace of forgiveness to forgive the very evil things that the KKK has done to him, I can certainly get over some gossip,
What's next for Christine O'Donnell?
Everyone keeps saying, are you going to run again? As I say in the book, the times I've run before, I've usually been like, no, I'm not going to run. And then your heart starts to change. You pray about it and you realize, oops, maybe God has something else for me.
Jennifer Wishon, CBN News.
O'Donnell also made news earlier this week with her interview with CNN's Piers Morgan. You can see her side of that story by going to Jennifer Wishon's blog. It's called The Beltway Buzz on cbnnews.com. A Dutch man is building a replica of Noah's Ark, and it matches the dimensions of the vessel found in the Bible. Chris Mitchell went to Holland to see it for himself.
Drive about an hour south of Amsterdam, and you can see the Ark. The big idea started with a dream in 1992.
The nighttime I dreamed that a part of Holland was flooded. So the next day, when I wake up, I said to my wife, I'm going to build the Ark of Noah. Yeah, that was the first beginning.
Despite objections from his wife and others, Johan Haubers first built this replica, 1/10 the size of Noah's original Ark. 600,000 visitors came to see that one, but Haubers had a bigger dream. CBN News, the same dimensions as Noah did, 300 cubits long, 50 cubits wide, and 30 cubits high. As you can see, it's huge. Some believe the Ark was the largest wooden structure ever to roam the seas. That makes it the length of 1.5 football fields and the size of a 5-story building. But how do you build an Ark?
I didn't make plans, you know. I had no drawings, I had nothing. I had the will to build a boat. And I asked God every day, give me the ideas how to build, how to do it. And God gave me day by day, so it was very easy.
The Ark also carries replicas of the animals that would have been on the Ark. But is the story about Noah real? Haubers says there are more than 200 stories of a flood in ancient history.
It's the same story. There was somebody who took all the animals inside a boat and he survived.
But why did this modern-day Noah want to build the Ark in the first place?
To tell the people about God. Who is God? That people start to read the Bible again. When you open the Bible, God will be there. Yeah. And it gives you all the answers.
Haubers believes the Ark is a sign of the days we're living in, just like in the days of Noah.
Yeah, terrible. Like the same situation at the time of Noah. Nobody cares about God. Nobody cares about each other. No. They kill each other for nothing. Yeah. Unbelievable.
Just like Noah, people criticized Haubers.
It was a very hard time. So everybody's asking why, and it's not necessary, and you don't have permission to build the Ark of Noah.
But Haubers and his team persevered. They expect to finish the Ark by the end of the year and hope to take it to the 2012 London Olympics. Chris Mitchell, CBN News, Dordrecht, Holland.
Gordon, that's one impressive project. I can't help but think some of the neighbors are a little bit nervous, though, right?
Well, it's one of the largest ships, wooden ships, ever built. And when you start thinking how ambitious he is, he wants to take it to London. That means he's going to sail it. That would be, talk about a cruise ship. You know, would you sign up for a cruise on the Ark?
No, but I'd go through it on the other end once it docked.
One little safety.
Pretty impressive, actually. It's a pretty remarkable thing to draw people back to the original story.
And I like the line, as in the days of Noah.
Yeah.
And when you start realizing that some things do happen based on Jesus saying, just as it was in the days of Noah, so will it be when I return.
Yeah.
An Illinois state judge has ruled against Catholic Charities in a case involving same-sex couples and adoptions. The state of Illinois stopped contracting with the agency after it refused to work with gays and lesbians for adoptions and foster care. Circuit Court Judge John Schmidt agreed with the state. He said no one, including Catholic Charities, has a legal right to contract with the state of Illinois, but the judge didn't address the more sensitive issue of whether a state contractor that refuses to serve gays and lesbians is violating Illinois' new civil unions law. An Operation Blessing farming project is helping to feed Haitian children. OB has teamed with Partners in Health to build 2 ponds on the property of a children's home. About 25,000 tilapia will be raised in each pond. The fish can then be harvested to feed thousands of people. It will be a source of protein for the children at the home, as well as nearby hospitals, churches, schools, and other orphanages. The project also creates more jobs for Haitians. People will need to clean those ponds and prepare the fish for market. And you can find out more about Operation Blessing by going to its website at ob.org.